Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5.
Mic check 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5.
There you go. The Independence Day holiday begins tonight in downtown Reno from Greater Nevada Fields. A USL showdown as Reno 1868 takes on the Real Monarchs SLC. And hi, everybody. Welcome inside our broadcast booth alongside Colin Tabor. I'm Alex Margulies. Should be a great one here tonight, Colin. We're pitting two of the top teams in the circuit. Reno comes in unbeaten over their last 13, and this Monarchs team is the top team in the entire league with 37 points.
Yeah, Reno 1868 looking to extend their unbeaten record to 14 games, but they're up against a very tough Real Monarchs team, a team that they have never even gotten a point against in the past.
Yeah, 0-3 last year in their inaugural season. But hoping to change things tonight as we take a look at the key players of the match. We'll begin with Reno, and they'll send out a very familiar face, Chris Weehan, the 2017 Newcomer of the Year in the USL. He was a major spark in Reno's offense a season ago.
Yeah, Chris Weehan, who won Rookie of the Year last year in USL, fan favorite here at Greater Nevada Field, looked to him to try to create some key assists for the players up front.
Weehan would set a USL record 12 assists with 8 goals last year. He signed a contract with the Earthquakes in the offseason, here to get some playing time here tonight. On the other side of the pitch for the Real Monarchs, you got to talk about Chandler Hoffman. He's been one of the best goal scorers in the circuit over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, definitely one of the best strikers in the USL. 65 goals overall in USL play. He's someone that's dangerous in all facets of the game. He's good in the air, he can make those runs, and he's a great finisher as well.
All right, should be a great night here at Greater Nevada Field. It's Reno 1868 trying to go to 14 straight unbeaten as they continue to make their climb up the Western Conference table, and standing in their way, the Real Monarchs SLC. We'll be right back with starting lineups and kickoff next. So we'll do the visitor starters first. A look at the Battle-Born Brigade. They are ready tonight as Reno 1868 and the Real Monarchs SLC face off for the first time here in 2018. All right, Colin, let's take a look at the starting lineups. We'll begin with the Monarchs. And again, they come in first place, 37 points. Chandler Hoffman talked about him during the Open. The back four, though, of this club, they have combined for 9 goals this season.
Yeah, expect some danger on set pieces from this back four. Along with expect Andrew Brody to get up the field. Normally a winger, his second game now at right back.
For Reno 1868, some big changes for Ian Russell, going back to a 4-4-2 diamond formation. Not only Chris Weehan back here, Tommy Thompson is in the lineup as well for Reno 1868, and a very strong back four in front of JT Marcinkowski.
Yeah, Tommy Thompson's such an exciting player. He's only played 1 game in preseason, actually against Real Monarchs, so I'm personally looking forward to seeing him in a Reno 1868 jersey out here tonight.
Here's a look at Ian Russell. Done a fantastic job leading this group. Last year, a playoff team in the inaugural season, 59 points, 3rd best in the Western Conference, and trying to lead his team on a similar trajectory here in 2018, a club that started really, really slow. They began the season 0-3 at home, but since then they have not lost neither at home or on the road, and they will keep trying to keep that alive here this evening. There's Tommy Thompson, the 22-year-old from California. Appeared in a bunch of games with the Earthquakes this year and over the last couple of seasons. He should be a big, impactful player on the pitch here tonight.
Yeah, he's such an exciting player, very technically gifted, will also do the hard work defensively. He's someone, despite appearing a lot, he still hasn't quite broken into that San Jose Earthquakes team like many would have expected him to. So he'll be looking forward to showing the Earthquakes coaching staff what he can do on this stage.
Reno playing just a couple days ago at home against Portland. They would come away with a 1-0 win thanks to an 81st minute goal from Danny Mazovsky. Something he has done an excellent job at this season, providing a late spark for Reno off the bench.
I think whoever Ian Russell brings off the bench can add that spark in the second half. Ian Russell's been able to call on different strikers to come off the bench and get that goal, and they've all delivered at certain points this season.
Monarchs earning an early corner kick. And they will send Charlie Adams down there. Last year led the club with 8 assists. The 24-year-old from England is a specialist when it comes to this part of his game.
Yeah, I think set pieces are so important for Real Monarchs, and Charlie Adams with his left foot puts in a great delivery.
Chance in the second minute for the Monarchs. Too strong that time for Adams, and a goal kick for JT Marcinkowski, the 20-year-old from Alamo, California, making his 15th start in goal for Reno 1868. Done an excellent job. He's yielded only 19 goals. He's tied for 6th in the USL when it comes to saves, recording 45 on the season. That's been a big part of Reno's success. This is a very different club than last year. Defensively, though, they have been much better. They've yielded only 8 goals during this 13-game stretch.
Yeah, well, they may not be as free-flowing in attack as they were last year with so many goals. I mean, multiple 5-goal games, 6-goal games. We were talking about a year ago today was the 9-0 win against LA Galaxy 2. And we haven't seen that quite in the attacking front from Reno 1868, but defensively, they've been superb.
Nice crowd here tonight at Greater Nevada Field, getting the holiday started off. Some soccer here tonight. Baseball tomorrow night. Reno Aces back in town, taking on the Sacramento River Cats. First game of a 5-game series against the San Francisco Giants AAA affiliate. Seth Kasipley on the ball for Reno 1868. He'll send it back to center back Zach Carroll. Thomas Janjigian to Chris Wehan. Back over to Carroll, wearing the captain's band again here tonight.
And here's Brent Richards pushing high up the field, trying to force something out of makeshift left back Ryden. Kalen Ryden, normally a center back, will be playing left back for Real Monarchs tonight.
Reno showing a lot of patience here in the opening minutes. Well, jostling there at midfield. The whistle looks like it's going to go against Brent Richards. Richards got tied up with Josh Hurd. Two of them former teammates at the University of Washington.
Yeah, and Josh Hurd just overtakes Brent Richards a little bit, and in the scuffle, Brent Richards pulls him down. Bit of a smart foul because Josh Hurd had the advantage there for a counterattack.
Zach Carroll brings it out for Reno 1868. Back over to Janjigian. Forward up to Duke Lacroix.
Duke Lacroix showing his pace, but overhits that a little bit. I think Moberg deals with that pretty well, reads the situation, knows that Lacroix is going to try to get the better of Andrew Brody there.
Carroll steps up, sends it to Kasipley. Here's Brian Brown. Richards finds Tommy Thompson in the corner. Felipe trying charging up. Cleared away by the Monarchs.
And I think we're seeing a lot better link-up play in the middle third with the additions of Chris Wehan and Tommy Thompson. Chris Wehan was so important to Reno's attack last year, linking from midfield to attack, receiving the ball between the lines and making something happen. Reno fans will be happy to see him out here again tonight.
Hurd coming forward again, can't control it, and a goal kick coming up for Marcinkowski. Became the third player in San Jose history to sign a homegrown contract, and one of the other two players also on this pitch, and Tommy Thompson. The third, Nick Lima.
Wouldn't mind seeing Nick Lima out here either, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Thompson will defer to Kasipli on the throw-in. From nearby Rockland, California, suburb of Sacramento. Second season for Kasipli here in the Reno midfield.
Yeah, also another technically gifted midfielder who can pass the ball, comfortable under pressure, and can chip in with some goals and assists as well. So many great passers in this Reno Diamond midfield right now, all in close proximity to each other. Expect a lot of passes to be made in this middle third, trying to draw Reno Monarchs out of shape before trying to spring the likes of Antoine Opino or an on-rushing Seth Kasipli or Chris Wehan through.
A little bit of different style of play, I think, for Reno here in the opening minutes. In addition to switching to the Diamonds, you usually see Reno kind of pushing forward the attack a little bit harder, but they've been content more to kind of build up in the middle of the field as Lacroix comes sprinting across midfield. An advantage here for Reno. Opino beats the keeper. Centers for Brown, and Brown can't keep his footing.
And what a run by Duke Lacroix. And where was the Monarchs defense there? Antoine Opino was all alone, but his touch around the keeper takes him too far away from goal. Tries to square it to Brian Brown, but Brian Brown makes a meal out of that. A great early chance for Reno, though.
Well, Duke Lacroix, since Reno signed him in April, he's been a real strong presence for the team. He fits in perfectly at outside back. Ian Russell likes to play those outside backs forward, and certainly we've seen it there. I mean, his speed can be game-changing at times.
Yeah, especially in the 4-4-2 diamond where there are two strikers and a lot of numbers in the midfield. That gives Duke Lacroix and Brent Richards a lot of room to run, and they're exploiting that early on. I think it's really reminiscent of the Reno 1868 from last year from what we've seen. Being patient in the midfield before trying to spring the forwards on their runs. Outside backs getting forward, attacking, and just dominating possession, winning the ball back quickly. All the things that were real trademarks of the team last year coming out once again.
Thompson breaking through deep into Monarchs territory. He'll back off and give it to Wehan. Back over to Richards. Last touch there by the Monarchs. Good job by Janjigian there in the box defending Hoffman. Broadcast night brought to you by Coors Light. Whatever you're mounting, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility.
Now Reno will earn a corner kick here. Looks like Seth Kasipli is going to it. When it was Chris Wehan all last year who was taking it. Oh, it looks like Wehan will take over duties.
All right, fans, it's time to get loud. Here's another Toro Long.
12 assists last year for Wehan. It was a USL record. 8 goals. He was also third in the USL with 66 chances created. Good chance there by Richards. His header goes too tall, though.
Yeah, and that delivery from Chris Wehan, It was just a flat driven ball. Little too much for Brent Richards to get on. You see Brent Richards have to make a big leap to get contact on it. But you can get a lot of power behind a ball like that.
Monarchs trying to go to the long ball there, looking for Horde. A little bit too far, though. Trying to quickly stretch the fields. Hoffman gets tangled up by Luis Felipe, and a whistle comes against Reno 1868.
Another set piece opportunity for Charlie Adams here. Look for him to try to whip that ball in the far post for the likes of Jaden Ryden, who has 4 goals already this season from a defensive position. Real danger on set pieces.
Deflected away by Reno. Thompson clears for Reno's counterattack, but it's pulled back by the Monarchs. Hurd gets on the ball. Bad positioning there. They'll send it all the way back to Leaker in goal. Stolen by Reno. Right-footed strike from Seth Kasipley goes just wide. He saw a wide open net from way outside the box, and Seth Kasipley decided to take a crack at it.
Oh, and so poor from Leaker here. Under really minimal pressure, just gifts the ball to Seth Kasipley. Kasipley looks for the quick chip from about 40 out, but just wide. Another really quality chance for Reno. This really just avoidable from Real Monarchs' perspective.
So a couple breakdowns here early in the first half by this Monarchs defense. And this is a club that does not allow very many goals, period. 13 this season, and that's in 16 games.
I think they've had a little bit of a defensive shuffle in the fullbacks. And, I mean, this Reno team is red hot early on today, showing their quality. A couple players who are really MLS players out here tonight. Oh,
here's Thompson.
And a good layoff from Openo, finding Openo high to find Thompson underneath.
Duke Lacroix trying to find Openo there.
How dangerous has Duke Lacroix been from this left back position, though? Taking on Andrew Brody, being dynamic in the attacking third despite being the left back. So much pace and quality in his dribbling, and a good left foot too to be able to cross balls in.
Well, Lacroix is a guy that I'm not sure anyone has really seen his full potential. Last year, he only played in 5 games with Orange County before going down with a season-ending knee injury. So here this season, for the first time, starting to get some regular playing time. And I think he's been a real kind of team-changing guy for this Reno 1868 club.
I think he definitely has. A bit of a question mark was where would he fit in. He's a winger, and Reno don't necessarily play with the wingers. I mean, they have since switched to a 4-2-3-1 a lot. We see Brent Richards in a lot of room, but well blocked there by Hurd. But I think Lacroix has really reinvented himself in this left back position. And for people seeing his quality, I know Ian Russell has last season 2 great goals in the opening game of the season for Orange County here at Greater Nevada Field.
Carroll is able to wall off the end line there as Marcinkowski will put it back into play. Parents, you can sign up your kids for Truckee's Kids Club presented by Shields and 95.5 The Vibe. Go to shop.reno1868fc.com today and sign up your kids for a season of fun.
So a couple times now we've seen Seth Kasipley, when Reno have tried to build the ball out of the back, coming into what normally would be the right back position while Brent Richards gets very high up the field. Brent Richards is really trying to force some width out of this Real Monarchs team, stretch them out wide. When Chang strips Lacroix here.
Chang still holding on to possession. Sends it back to Portillo. They're trying to find Hurd there. And a corner kick coming up for the Monarchs.
But good play from Monarchs there. Chang gets the better of Lacroix. He's able to find Hoffman out wide to try to find Hurd in the middle. And Monarchs will have another chance at a set piece, something they specialize in.
Here's Portillo from the corner this time. He's got 4 assists on the team. Good bend on that ball. Looks like it was last touched by Reno. Another corner now from the opposite side.
Yeah, and that ball from Portillo had so much dip. From the 6 to the near post, it came down about two yards or so with a lot of pace. That was a tough ball to deal with for the Reno defense.
So Portillo on the opposite side. Now it's back to Charlie Adams, the Englishman.
And another poor delivery from Charlie Adams, overshooting everyone in the box for the second time on his corner.
Here's Tommy Thompson. A lot of experience at 22 years old. He has been in the MLS with the Earthquakes for the last couple of seasons. Last year played in 32 games. He's appeared in 6 games this year, including 1 start. Got his first MLS goal a season ago, along with 4 assists. I know you think he's a player with a really bright future.
Yeah, I would like to see him improve his output, though. I think for an attacking player, I mean, while he does contribute a lot, it might not necessarily be in goals and assists, and I think that's something he can add to his game. Maybe just a little more quality in the final third. In the middle of the field, he's brilliant.
We had a moment ago trying to feed Antoine Opero. Couldn't quite get it there to him. Luis Felipe with the takeaway in the midfield. They'll go over the top for Openo.
And a good run from Weehan. Openo just tries to find that run between the 2 Monarchs defenders. Weehan's touch just a little too heavy for him.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. You can receive free shipping on orders over $50. Alongside Colin Tabor, Alex Margulies here with you tonight in downtown Reno. 0-0 into the 20th minute between Reno and the Real Monarchs in the first matchup between these 2 Western Conference foes of this 2018 season. Monarchs have only been defeated 3 times, have only drawn 1 time this year. That, to me, is extremely impressive to only have 1 draw.
Yeah, and I think that's what sets the 2 teams apart in the table. Reno 1868, so many games unbeaten, but a lot of them draws that they could have maybe turned into wins. And this Real Monarchs team, they've known this season how to get 3 points, how to see out a win. At home, away from home, it doesn't matter. They've they've been consistently great for the past 2 seasons, really, because we were saying the same thing last year about this team.
Here's Brian Brown trying to center it in the box. Antoine Openo, left foot, rejected by Leaker.
Yeah, and Antoine Openo delays and has so much time on the ball. Brody doesn't close him down. He's able just to delay a little bit to be able to get that shot off. A good save from Leaker there. But once again, poor defending from Real Monarchs.
Duke Laquan the throw in. Thompson gives it right back to him. Now Chris Wehan. Over to Seth Gasippli. Now it's Richards. Thompson. Deflected, but right to Jake Leaker. 23-year-old making his 6th appearance of the season. And for Leaker, he's allowed just 1 goal in his 5 games this year.
Yeah, he's been impressive whenever called upon for Real Monarchs. 4 shutouts in 5 games is a very good record. But I think Tommy Thompson could have just had a deft little touch on the Brent Richards run there. And Brent Richards was through. Decided to shoot instead, and decent shot, but overall pretty easy to handle for Leaker.
Reno's got to be happy with the chances they've gotten here in the first 22 minutes of this match. Just have not been able to finish, but they've had 4 or 5 really quality looks.
Yeah, and I think if Monarchs keep allowing these kinds of quality chances, then we're going to see a goal here sooner rather than later, because there have been a few that have been very, very close. And Monarchs need to tighten up this defense.
Here's Seth Gasippli now.
The movement from Reno has been so good. Seth Gasippli making the inside out run there. Just lots of diagonal runs, lots of movement into space. So many players, close connection to each other that can make those kind of runs, and it's been paying off, the off-the-ball movement, switching back to the 4-4-2 diamond.
Like you said, it is kind of vintage what we saw from Reno last year. You win the ball in the midfield, and then all of a sudden you just see this surge coming from the midfield, and a lot of times defenses don't know how to stop it.
Yeah, and I think oftentimes this season, Reno's struggled connecting from midfield to attack. They've been able to keep possession, but then a lot of times they would just try to force a ball through. Now you're seeing that those passes between the lines, so between the midfield and the defense, those little pockets of space, you're seeing players move into them. You're seeing good crisp passes go into those players, and you're just seeing a lot more movement and creativity connecting from midfield to attack.
A yellow card for Zach Carroll, and maybe a necessary one as he stopped the progress there of Josh Hurd. By the way, our head referee tonight, Michael Radchuk, pulling out the first yellow card of the match. And you can see there Hurd was in position for a very strong counterattack.
Yeah, and another counterattack from Hurd where he powers through the Reno defense. Zach Carroll's smart to make that professional foul. They can just reorganize now, because Reno's gonna have to watch out for the counterattack. Pushing so many numbers forward, Monarchs are gonna try to look to exploit the space left in behind.
Here's Portillo, first season with this Monarch club, but he made a name for himself the last couple of years in Charleston. Last year, he was a second team selection in the USL. USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow at USL on Twitter. 26th minute here at Greater Nevada Fields. Reno in the blues, moving right to left. Kasipley tries to find Brian Brown, comes off of his feet though, and back to the Monarchs.
And Brian Brown was a little unhappy there. He wanted Openo to be ready for that layoff, but Brian Brown with that gets that driven pass in, such a great layoff. Having a striker close to him that he can run off of will be good for Brian Brown, I think, who's had to play a lot of the season as a lone striker.
Jose Hernandez on the ball now, sends it wide. Knocked away, and that almost turned into a very dangerous situation for Reno as it was cleared by Marcinkowski, but almost at one of the Monarchs players there in the box.
Yeah, I think Marcinkowski can breathe a sigh of relief because that's a routine catch that he fumbles, and he's fortunate that doesn't fall into any Real Monarchs players.
Openo keeps possession for Reno. Here's Seth Kasipley. Over to Antoine Openo. Trying to set things up for Thompson there, and it's cleared out by the Monarchs all the way back to Marcinkowski.
Antoine Openo just using Tommy Thompson's run as a decoy before bringing inside. Chris Weehan can't get a touch there.
Andrew Brody across midfield for the Monarchs, sends it backwards over to Portillo. Brown putting on pressure, and they'll send it back to Leaker. Carroll lets that one get away from him, but Felipe's there to break it up. And too strong off into the bullpen area. And a goal kick coming up for Marcinkowski.
Yeah, it takes an unfortunate deflection off of Brent Richards there. Allow the chance to be created for Real Monarchs. Charlie Adams' shot is over the bar. A lot like his corner kicks. He's got to find some more consistency because I know he has better deliveries and shots than that.
Openo fights to keep it in play. Antoine Openo to Weehan, and Weehan with his left foot couldn't quite redirect that one good enough, but a really nice job there by Antoine Openo. Almost similar to the goal that he set up last week for Reno in the 81st minute as Mazovsky was able to put away the game winner.
Yeah, and that's something Openo's really good at. He hugs the end line. A lot of players think, oh, he's going to cut back, he has no more space. And he just takes that little bit of space he does have on the end line, allowed to be able to get that cross off. And almost a really good chance for Chris Weehan there off some great play by Antoine Openo.
Kalen Ryden going for the throw-in. Also his first season here with the Monarchs after playing last year in the NASL with Jacksonville. Good chance there and a stop by Marcinkowski as Chang put it right there. Good crossing attempt from Ryden.
Yeah, very good play from Ryden there to take it to the end line. Beat Brent Richards and then put in a great delivery over the top of everyone to find Chang. Chang can't get enough power though.
Weehan trying to combine there with Antoine Openo. He was a little bit crossed up though. Reno continues to really, throughout this entire 30 minutes, they have had good chance after good chance. It is certainly working right now against the Monarchs. Still just trying to find that finish.
Yeah, everything's just, it's been almost but not quite enough. I think 1-2 more good quality chances, I think we'll be seeing a goal because they've been creating them for fun.
Thompson keeps it away from Portillo, sends it back to Janjigian. Up to Kasipli. Perfect ball to Weehan. Trying to find Brian Brown. Here is Brown. Duke Lacroix. And Lacroix is broken up by Andrew Brody. And again, there's been so many times Reno gets into the box and it's almost like they're not sure where to go next.
Yeah, and Chris Weehan spotting that space between the lines to be able to get the ball to run at Monarchs before playing it off. And then Duke Lacroix, I think he just has to have a touch and hit it, but he tries to bring in the end line for a cross, but Reno have an opportunity here from the corner.
Kasipli. Luis Felipe buries it here in the 32nd minute. And Reno is on the board here in the first half against the Monarchs.
Yeah, and a deep ball from Seth Kasipli here finds Zach Carroll, who heads it back across. And Brent Richards knows that Luis Felipe is there, just gives the deft little touch to find Felipe right in front of the keeper. And Felipe buries that past leaker to make it 1-0 for Reno.
What a combination there. And you said it, I mean, Reno has been knocking on the door so many times that at some point, with the way that they've been able to break down this Monarchs defense, that a goal was going to be coming sooner than later.
Yes, something was going to have to give eventually. Reno were creating so many opportunities, just couldn't find that touch in the back of the net. And it comes now from Luis Felipe.
First goal for Luis Felipe this season. He's appearing in his 11th game. Second season here in downtown Reno, but he was signed in the offseason by the Earthquakes. A really, really good team goal that time. You mentioned the headers by Carroll and Richards first, and Felipe able to bury it into the back of the net.
Yeah, it looked so good, almost looked coordinated. I don't know if you could plan for something like that, but it was a good team effort from the corner there.
And now a waft of blue smoke fills the air here at Greater Nevada Field. The Battleborn Brigade is going off right now behind the goal.
What a good ball from Brian Brown there. Openo can't find him again, though.
Richards intercepts. Brown touches for Openo, trying to get it back to Brown. Wild little sequence there to keep that in play, and then it's finally cleared by the Monarchs. Great job there between Openo and Brown to fight for possession.
Yeah, I think having two strikers close together will allow them to be able to have those combinations now. So many times Brian Brown was isolated and would drift off looking for the ball. Now he has someone next to him, someone off of him in Tommy Thompson and Chris Weehan. Just players in closer proximity to each other to be able to play off of.
If you want to get exclusive video content and photography from across the USL, you can make sure to follow the league's official Instagram account. You can find that at USL Soccer. 35th minute here in downtown Reno, and it's 1868 FC with a 1-0 lead on the Real Monarchs as they try to defeat the Monarchs for their first time in franchise history. Reno did not only not win a game last year against the Monarchs. They didn't even earn a point. 0-3 in their inaugural season, as the Monarchs went on to win the regular season title behind a record of 25-7. They finished with 67 points.
And there was one that was close, though, where Andrew Tarbell rocked a shot off the crossbar in the dying seconds of the game. Goalkeeper coming up and doing that twice, actually. The second one, he scored, but it was offside.
Tarbell now the starting goalie for the Earthquakes. Richards uses his head to get that one out of trouble.
It looks like Hurd gave him a little shove as he went up. Reno will be allowed to foul here instead of giving away the corner.
Broadcast night brought to you by Coors Light. The bigger the mountain, the better the rewards. Whatever your mountain, climb on. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. Reno not only unbeaten during their last 13, they're coming off of 2 consecutive wins. Openo working here. 3 defenders can't stop him. 5 guys in the line now for the Monarchs, though. Tries to weave it in there for Brown, and it's cleared away that time by Portillo.
Yeah, but Reno will keep the pressure on. So many numbers high up. It's hard for Real Monarchs to get out of their half.
Well, this is what Reno loves to do. They love to just sit there and camp out in an opponent's half. And that's what helped lead to 75 goals a season ago. Whistle goes against Antoine Openo that time.
Yeah, this battle between Taylor Pay and Antoine Openo has been interesting. Openo so strong on the ball, has a low center of gravity, but Taylor Pay has been able to match him physically so far.
Reno's back-to-back wins, a 2-0 victory in San Antonio with goals by Jerry Van Avek and Brian Brown. And then earlier during this homestand, playing on Saturday, it was Mazovsky, Danny Mazovsky in the 81st minute, as Reno came away with a 1-0 victory over the Timbers. It's a big win for Reno as they're able to pass T2 in the Western Conference standings and jump into a tie for 4th place with Swope Park. The Rangers are idle tonight, so a chance for Reno, if they can get 3 points here this evening, they would jump past them, and they would also jump Sacramento and Orange County. They could vault all the way to 3rd here tonight with 3 points. A lot of soccer left here tonight, but Reno's got to be very pleased with the way this first half has gone.
Yeah, I think the first half has been brilliant from Ian Russell's side so far. They've pressed high. They've had a lot of good movement and passing combinations in the opponent's half, and they've been able to create a lot of chances. Now Real Monarchs trying to press a little higher, trying to suffocate that space in the midfield. But Zach Harrell does well to bypass that press to find Brent Richards higher up the field.
Thompson trying to lead a streaking Antoine Openo there.
Oh, and a good 3rd-man combination. Seth Kasipli lays off Tommy Thompson, who finds Brent Richards' run first time. Just too heavy for Brent Richards, but players moving off the ball for each other, recognizing that movement, and being able to play quickly has been really a strong suit of Reno this half. Brian Brown with another good layoff to Antoine Opino.
Weehan across the field for Richards, plays it forward to Thompson. Kasipli, quick heel, trying to find Weehan there, and it's cleared out.
Yeah, and I think they just try to play a little too quickly there with their combinations. Seth Kasipli just tries to find that first time ball in. He has a little bit of time to take a touch and look up.
Brown fighting for possession here near the box. Jostling with Pay. And last touched by the visitors. Throwing to Opino. Chris Weehan. Tommy Thompson. Broken up at the last second.
It was almost a really clever turn from Tommy Thompson. Real Monarchs defender gets that crucial touch on it at the end. But just to see how much initiative Reno have in their attacks. Constantly coming at him.
Another chance here for Duke Lacroix. Right foot, put a nice bender there, and it was headed out of play by the center back, James Moberg.
Yeah, good chance. Duke Lacroix on his weaker right foot after Reno finds him with another great third-man combination. Reno have been moving the ball around so well.
Last time Reno had a corner, it resulted in their first goal. Here's Seth Kasipli again. And it's Carroll who starts the heading, and this time he heads it back into the Battle-Born Brigade.
Yeah, looking for something similar here. Seth Kasipli tries to find Zach Carroll on the far post. Zach Carroll, instead of heading it back across, goes for a goal, but just over the bar.
Final couple minutes here in the first half. Reno with a 1-0 lead thanks to a 31st minute goal from Luis Felipe.
Another big win from Taylor Pay here, who's been solid so far.
Here's Michael Chang. Trying to cross there for Hoffman. I think right now, defensively, what Reno has done, they've done a good job on Hoffman, I think, thus far. Haven't seen him getting involved in much. He's the team's top scorer, and frankly, he's one of the best scorers in USL history. They found him in the box there. Over to Chang, good breakup by Felipe to help recover there for Reno.
Yeah, just as you were saying that, Chandler Hoffman managed to find a little bit of space off the shoulder of Thomas Janjigian, take down the ball, lay it off for Chang. But yeah, he's been pretty anonymous. He hasn't been able to really connect with the midfielders behind him. Andrew Brody just scuffs that cross and he goes harmlessly out for a goal kick. But yeah, he's someone who needs runners around him still. He'll be able to link up with the attacking three behind him, but only if they're able to get the ball into the attacking third into feet to run at people. Real Monarchs, their only danger so far has been off set pieces and long diagonal balls from Charlie Adams to Michael Chang. They're going to need to find Hernandez, who's another one we haven't mentioned, between the lines to be able to create more for the likes of Chandler Hoffman.
Reno, not only the 13-game unbeaten streak here tonight, they've also been able to hold their opponents without a goal for 201 minutes coming in to the start of the match. So about 245 minutes straight now without the opposition finding the back of the net.
Yeah, and this trio of Thomas Janjigian, Zach Carroll, and JT Marcinkowski have been so good defensively for Reno, restricting to very few chances. When chances have come, JT Marcinkowski's been called on to make some wonderful saves.
Here comes a surge from the Monarchs, and that one too high. Electing to take a shot from outside the box as we tick down the final seconds here in regulation. Coming up at halftime, we'll hear from Ian Russell. Kylie Diesner is standing by on the sideline. She'll have that for us.
I'm sure Ian Russell's pleased with the way his side has come out in this first half.
Well, it looks like no stoppage time here in the first half. That's the whistle from Michael Radchuk. And Reno 1868, 13 games unbeaten. They will take a 1-0 lead into halftime here against the Real Monarchs as they try to come away with their first win against this club in team history. Kylie is ready down the field with Ian Russell. Take it away.
Thanks so much, Alex. Yeah, we're here with head coach Ian Russell. Now, Ian, last time we spoke, you told me you wanted to see some more goals scored in the first half, and tonight you got one. What do you think changed offensively?
We played a great half. It's probably the best half we played all year. A lot of possession, a lot of chances. Should be up more goals. It's the only disappointing thing. I think we deserve 2 or 3 more, but second half we got to close it out.
All right, and then you guys have Chris Weehan back in Reno tonight. What can we expect out of him?
He's just sharp, tidy, really good footballer. Him and Tommy Thompson, same type of player, just really good technical players. Good on the ball.
All right, thanks so much, Coach. Back to you, Alex.
1868, they've got the lead here tonight in downtown Reno. Can they make it 3 consecutive wins? Reno trying to climb up this Western Conference table. We'll see if they can finish it off in the second 45. Coming up.
Yeats inside the area. It's Hamilton. What a finish! Jordan Hamilton. What a strike!
Depersky getting in behind.
That ball from Mirkovich, and what an incredible goal from Perisky! Cordell Cato, oh my goodness, what a finish! Across the middle. Obanawi with the insurance goal. There it is! McInerney, good looking ball. Jack McInerney. Just digs it back in, flicked on. Krisnenko!
Brody inside the 18. Brody shot and a goal! Andrew Brody puts the Monarchs ahead in the 8th minute of play.
This one sent in. Great effort. Tampa Bay equalize in the 90th. It's Damo Duro in his rowdy debut. Obi steps in. Obi shooting. Saved by Lynn. He protected the 2 points.
Looking overlap here on the cross, falling in, and beautifully saved.
Stepping forward, header is saved. Von Williams just barely knocking it away from Doyle.
Braden Allen! Garces kept it out.
Here comes Fresno. Cooper!
Save keeper.
Cohen gets in behind. Francois off of Ranjitsing. Francois again. Ranjitsing slaps it away. Lofted over the back line and saved by Pickens as he dives aside.
Hey soccer fans, I'm Courtney Hudson here with Reno 1868 FC, and this is your look around the league. As we start off week 17 of the regular season, the battle continues amongst teams in the Western Conference. Real Monarchs SLC continues to extend their lead with 37 points. Phoenix Rising FC remains close behind in second place with 35 points, with several teams inching their way closer to the top. Here's a look ahead of the games being played later this week. Colorado Switchbacks take on Orange County SC tonight as well, with a number of games in the Western Conference to follow as the week continues. We're going to take a look at some of the top storylines of this week. The race for a home playoff spot remains tight in both the USL's Eastern and Western Conferences. Tuesday's match at Greater Nevada Field highlights a top 5 showdown. Reno 1868 FC, who jumped to 5th place over the weekend, would jump to 3rd place in the West with a draw or win. Real Monarchs hold a commanding grasp of 1st place. Toronto FC2 was unveiled on Monday as the newest founding member of the USL's Division III for the league's inaugural 2019 season. The league will expand professional soccer across the United States and is expected to add more members over the next few months. Nashville SC continues to build on its impressive inaugural season, notching another win and moving to 3rd in the Eastern Conference over the weekend. Nashville's goalkeeper Matt Pickens leads all keepers with 8 shutouts this season. That's your look around the league for this week. Enjoy the second half of the game here at Greater Nevada Field.
Back here inside Greater Nevada Field alongside Colin Tabor, Alex Margulies. Just saw the rise of Nashville there, and a familiar face from Reno 1868 on that roster, Matt LaGrassa, who was Reno's holding midfielder last year in that 4-4-2 diamond. Just a great player for the team, has moved on and helping that Nashville squad out.
Yeah, good for Matt LaGrassa. Such a wonderful player. Did so well last year, and I'm glad to see he's being successful in Nashville.
Here in Reno, it has been 1868 all the way on top of the Real Monarchs SLC, a matchup of 2 of the top teams in the entire circuit. Reno has come on very strong after a slow start to the year in March and April, a team that has not lost since the middle of April, the 14th, when they were defeated by Colorado Springs here at home, and since then, they have been spectacular. 7 wins, no losses, 6 draws. Nobody in the USL has accumulated more points over that span, and that has been able to vault Reno to 28 points in a tie for 4th place in the Western Conference against this Monarchs team that came in first place, 37 points, a team that has only lost 3 times this year. But really, from the start to the end of the 45th minute, Reno was really in control of that entire first half.
Yeah, Reno have completely dominated this first half, in my opinion. Really, I think the best they've played all season by far. They've been brilliant in the midfield, creating great chances and been solid defensively as well. They've made a really good Real Monarchs team look pretty average out here tonight.
All right, Colin, let's take a look at the first half highlights. Reno had a lot of chances early in the game. This one here, a misplay by the keeper for the Monarchs, Leaker, and it was Seth Gasipley taking a long shot and almost got that one to go. And that was the first of many for Reno 1868.
Yeah, and it was so poor from Leaker there, just an unforced error. Here we see Antoine Open, who had a great battle with Taylor Pay, swing him around on the end line before finding Chris Weehan.
Reno would finally break through in the 31st minute. Seth Gasipley finds a header to Zach Carroll. Then it was Brent Richards, and finally on the finish, Luis Felipe, his first goal here in 2018.
Yeah, and such a well-worked corner routine. Zach Carroll heads it back across. Brent Richards just has a nice little flick to Luis Felipe, who's all alone at the top of the sixth, and Luis Felipe puts it away.
Felipe last year had 5 goals, playing in 27 games after joining the team mid-season, coming over from Fort Lauderdale out of the NASL ranks. And as I mentioned earlier, he turned his positive performance in Reno into a contract with the San Jose Earthquakes, but he has found himself mostly here in Reno, appearing into his 11th game. And a nice touch there in front of goal. There were not only the keeper, but another defender to get past, and he just found the perfect spot to put that one in.
Yeah, and on the turn, spinning and hitting a volley like that, it is more difficult than it looks. I mean, yeah, you get solid contact. You're that close in front of goal, but he did really well spinning to be able to put that on target and get a nice goal. Look at some of Reno's bench as they get out and get a little bit warmed up. We see Danny Mazovsky, who had the game winner on Saturday. Also, Mo Chow is there, along with Lindo Mafeka, Brenton Griffiths, Jerry Van Avek, and Kyle Inn getting a little bit of warm-up action here before we get the second half underway. And, well, for Reno, I think they'd have to look at what they did in the first half and try and duplicate that and continue what they're doing. So I'm not going to even ask you what kind of changes you would make, because I don't think there are any. But for the Real Monarchs, to me, they have to figure out a way, one, to keep Reno out of their half, and two, they just have not really generated a whole lot of offense.
Yeah, I mean, for Reno, it's obviously more of the same, trying to put one or two more and put this game out of reach for Real Monarchs. For Real Monarchs, I think they just need to try to find their front three of Chang, Hernandez, and Hurd and have them link up with each other. We've seen a couple times Hurd and Chang on the wing making solo runs, but they haven't been able to link up with Hernandez or Hoffman, be able to try to get some passes together in Reno's half. It's been speculative long balls trying to spring Chang on the counter and trying to earn a set piece. But yeah, I think they just need to try to find a little more quality, try to get the likes of Portillo and Adams as well balls into their feet so they can find those three in front of them. I think this is a game for Sebastian Velasquez to come in and make an impact.
Yeah, Velasquez, a guy that has scored 3 goals for the Monarchs this season, a 27-year-old with a lot of MLS time up with the RSL, Real Salt Lake, and last year had 9 goals, which was second best on the team. He's been injured. Could see him come off the bench for Mark Briggs' club. Here comes Reno 1868, the home Blues. A couple minutes left on the warm-up clock, and while they continue to get loosened up, Colin, let's talk a little World Cup football. How about this morning? We had a chance to see a couple more brilliant games. England winning in penalty kicks over Colombia, and Sweden coming out on top of Switzerland.
Yeah, who would have guessed that England would have won a game in the World Cup on penalties? Good for them to be able to break that duck and go forward in a side of the bracket that's really anybody's. There's no superpower there. Any of those 4 teams left, whether it be Croatia, Russia, Sweden, or England, can see themselves in the final of the World Cup. I don't think anyone could have predicted that.
Who do you have as an edge for those 4?
I think Croatia. I think Croatia have the better midfield than everyone else. I mean, the likes of Ivan Rakitic and Luka Modric are just magical players who can make anything happen, along with the likes of Perisic and Mandzukic to be able to put the balls away.
On the other side of the bracket, some really exciting matches this week. We saw Brazil outlast Mexico as they move on, and maybe the match of the tournament coming up, Brazil and Belgium, going to take place on Friday morning, 7 o'clock kickoff, but that should be a really good match.
That should be a really interesting game, and if I were Roberto Martinez, the Belgian manager, I'd consider switching to a back 4. I think that back 3 can be a really dangerous gamble against Brazil's front 3 of Willian, Gabriel Jesus, and Neymar.
Well, it's been a blast watching soccer on the world stage over these last couple of weeks. It's been fun watching this Reno 1868 team over these last couple of months, and they'll try to make it 14 straight without a loss. And they'll try to go for their 3rd consecutive victory and try to complete a perfect homestand, a win on Saturday over Portland, and going for a win here this evening with a 1-0 lead on the Monarchs. Do see an early substitution for Reno 1868 as Paul Marie has checked in.
Yeah, Paul Marie will slide in at right back for Brent Richards. And it looks like Mare will come in as well for Real Monarchs.
Juan Ignacio Mare, 23-year-old from Argentina, taking over for the Monarchs.
And it looks like Mikel Chang's half is done.
So Brent Richards, who has started every single match for Reno 1868 this season, he leads the team in minutes. We'll get a chance to rest here in the second half. Another good first half from Brent Richards.
Yeah, he got up a lot on that right side and really tried to take the game to Ryden. Tried to get in a couple good deliveries. He's normally the fittest guy out there, normally plays 90 minutes every game. So I'm curious to see if it's resting because this is his second game in 3 or 4 days, or if there is a little bit of an injury concern.
Well, and a chance to get Paul Marie some playing time as well. He was drafted 12th overall by the Earthquakes this season, coming out of Florida International University. He's had a chance to play in a number of games here with Reno 1868.
Yeah, and he's had a lot of success playing in the midfield, even has bagged a couple goals for Reno. Sliding back into right back, the position he was drafted by the Quakes to play.
Richards, by the way, the assist earlier in the game on that header, his second of the season. Here's a throw-in from Paul Marie, born in France. One of 2 French-born players on this Reno 1868 roster, along with Antoine Opino.
And Josh Hurt just brushes Paul Marie down while Marie tries to push it past him.
Kalen Ryden tries to play it forward for the Monarchs, stolen away by Felipe. Here's Seth Kasipli now. Crosses the field for Duke Lacroix.
And Duke Lacroix showing off his pace once again.
Fantastic run there by Lacroix. He was trying to lead in to Antoine Opino.
Yeah, and Antoine Opino wants that prior foul from Duke Lacroix. When Lacroix plays that ball to Opino, he gets taken down. Opino thinks that the foul should be given after advantage was really not an advantage. But Duke Lacroix, when he has space to run, he can go. And not just with speed, too. He can weave in and out of players, good dribbling ability.
Yeah, he really has the ability to break down a defense.
And to have that from deep rather than tight against a fullback is huge.
Chance here for the Monarchs. Into the box, taken down. And a clean takedown according to the head referee, Michael Radchuk. And now a whistle comes out as Brian Brown is knocked down to the turf.
Yeah, and Brody gets taken down after weaving inside. We saw a similar goal he scored in the right back position against Fresno. I think he just loses his footing there, but Brody's someone who Reno will want to be wary of because he's someone who's had a history of scoring against this team.
Thompson leads the surge here from Reno 1868. Off to Paul Marie. Back to Seth Kasipli. Once again, they'll look to Duke Lacroix. Thompson back to Marie.
And Reno finding that ability to link up once again in this second half. Kasipli and Tommy Thompson in particular have done well being able to find each other in the middle third.
Back to Justin Portillo. Looking to find Hoffman there and just off the mark as it goes back to Marcinkowski.
Yeah, and better this time from Charlie Adams, being able to find space in front of the Reno back four and try to slip Chandler Hoffman through. His pass was a little too heavy for Hoffman's run, but that's more of what Real Monarchs are looking to see, trying to find the ball higher up the field to be able to.
Thompson's shot won't go, and the rebound by Opano. He's going to want that one back.
Yeah, but it looks like Opano was offside anyway, but Tommy Thompson with a laser beam, really tough to judge for Leaker, and Opano puts that rebound over the top, is able to save his blushes a little bit with the offside flag going up.
Already, though, here to start this second half, the Monarchs, I think, have had some better looks.
Yeah, and we're seeing Reno sit back a little more. We're seeing them getting a little more into their defensive shell rather than being so gung-ho with their press. It's allowing Monarchs a little more time on the ball. It's allowing them to find their midfield further up the field.
Here's Mare, who just checked in, passes back to Portillo. Taken away by Chris Weehan.
Oh, Weehan does really well to find Seth Kasipli in space.
3-on-2 fast break for Reno. Opano takes the strike, and a deflection by Jake Leaker. And Brian Brown was there as well, but another big run there by Reno, a 3-on-2 fast break.
Yeah, and Leaker does really well to make this save because Opano's one-on-one against him, and you'd put your money on Opano putting that away. But once again, Monarchs left exposed off the counter. Kasipli was able to find an easy ball into Opano all alone right in front of goal.
Kasipli finds Thompson. Trapped near the corner. Gets it back out to Seth. That first goal of 2018 has got to fall for Antoine Opano. Such a productive player, 7 assists on the team. Tied for second in the United Soccer League with his 7 assists. Last year, though, had 12 goals in that 75-goal season, which set the new mark for the United Soccer League.
Yeah, even when he's not scoring, though, Antoine Opano's so dangerous in the final third. It's taking people on and earning those assists, just being a nuisance on the ball or harassing defenders.
Thompson gets tangled up, and a whistle goes against Jose Hernandez. Actually, that'll go against Reno.
It's crazy to believe that Opano doesn't have a goal yet this season, though.
Isn't it? Like, you almost have to double check and make sure and say, wait a minute, he doesn't have a goal?
I really just did double check it because I couldn't believe it when you just said that.
And that's the thing. He's had so many good chances. He's such a productive player, and you have to imagine between now and the end of the season, it's not going to stay that way.
He's going to break that duck sooner rather than later. He's looking sharp. He's making things happen. I mean, second in the league in assists with 7. That speaks for itself and why he's in this team.
One of the best signings Reno's been able to make as a franchise. Opano some MLS time with Philadelphia. Broke in with the Union a couple seasons ago, and that was big for him. Told you he was born in France, but grew up in the Philadelphia area.
And I think re-signing him for the second season was huge for Reno as well, because after the season he had, you imagine he was getting a lot of offers from all over the country. And with the European passport, being born in France, I'm sure he's gotten a couple looks in Europe as well. Maybe not for a top team. But
here's Paul Marie.
You can see teams being interested, though.
Finds Thompson. Trying to cross it there for Kasipli, and Leaker steps up on it. Well, the resume for Opano last year, 12 goals, 6 assists, 50 chances created. I mean, he was as big of a part of that team as anybody. Here's Brown now, and Weehan just missed it with his left foot.
Oh, and a good run from Weehan. Brian Brown does really well to find him after the defenders got pulled onto Opano's run, and Weehan just tries to slot it into that far post. Just puts it wide, though.
Fans, you want to find out how well you know the USL? Test your knowledge in USLsoccer.com's weekly picks competition. That happens every Tuesday, and you can win tickets to an upcoming USL game of your choice. Nowhere to go that time for Kisipli. Passes to Jose Hernandez.
Yeah, Kisipli just holds on the ball too long there. He's been feeling really comfortable in possession this game. Maybe was a little too comfortable there and then ran out of options.
Josh Hurd will pass it backwards for Kalen Ryden.
Really well won by Luis Felipe after finding Portillo.
Opano sends it back to Kisipli. Good pass to Brian Brown. Thompson finds Opano. Centered, and a left-footed strike for Brian Brown.
And brilliant combinations between Brian Brown, Chris Weehan, and Antoine Opano. Weehan just slips Opano through. How many times did we see that last year? And Opano just lays it across for Brian Brown to tuck it away. A great team goal from Reno 1868 to put them 2-0 up against Real Monarchs.
Well, and that was an example there because a chance where we've talked about it, Antoine Opano does not have a goal this season. He certainly could have tried to take that shot himself, but the player that he is, he was unselfish, and he gave Brown the opportunity, and Brian Brown finishes with his 6th goal this season.
And I think that's so shows what kind of player Antoine Opano is, because so many strikers with a goal duck would be trying to get anything they could, shot after shot. It's like, I need to score. Antoine Opano just lays across to Brian Brown, makes the right decision, and now is tied in the lead with assists for the entire USL.
8 assists for Antoine Opano, and Reno a massive 2-0 lead here on the top team in the United Soccer League.
And that combination play between the three of Brian Brown, Chris Weehan, and Antoine Opano was spectacular. Quick one-touch passing, finding feet, then looking through. Just everything Ian Russell preaches about and wants in an attack shown right there.
Janjigian clears it out of the box. Thompson trying to lead Weehan there. Well, and I think the quality of that passing connection, it stems from the fact those three played together for an entire season, and they worked incredibly well together.
Yeah, and I think Ian Russell might be asking the San Jose Earthquakes coaching staff, when can I have Chris Weehan more? Because look at this attack with Weehan on the field. He makes such a difference to this team.
Jack Blake checks in for the Monarchs, their second substitution of the night. Jose Hernandez comes off. Blake, another player from England. He's 23 years old. He's got a goal and a couple assists this season.
I think Hernandez has been pretty ineffective out here tonight. Such a good quality player, but he hasn't had a lot of time on the ball.
Brian Brown, by the way, has scored in 4 of the last 5 games now. He has really come on strong during this streak. Here's Paul Marie. Finds Openo. Back to Thompson. Openo.
Openo's run was so good, but once again, selfless play, but gives away possession.
Good recovery by Reno's defense as Lacroix is able to get in front of Mare.
Yeah, but good counterattack from Monarchs here. Reno about to score a goal on one end, and then all of a sudden now Monarchs have a corner kick.
So you see the substitution there, Blake for Hernandez.
It looks like Portillo will hit the outswinging corner.
Brown clears it this time. Monarchs will regroup from midfield. Hoffman couldn't control it. Paul Marie will get rid of it.
Yeah, good decision by Paul Marie when being pressed. Rather just put it out and reorganize and make a pass that could go into Chandler Hoffman's feet for a chance on goal.
Portillo takes a crack at it, goes off of Felipe. Here's Felipe on the offensive end now, and he's taken down by Pay. And a whistle comes.
Yeah, Openo just waiting for a run. It comes from the holding mid, Luis Felipe. Does well to get his body between and earn that throw, allow Reno to push up a little bit after defending for the last couple minutes.
I think Luis Felipe has looked very comfortable for Reno as the holding midfielder in this 4-4-2 diamond.
Yeah, I think this is the best I've seen him play as the defensive mid. He did so well as one of the midfielders on the side of the diamond last year. I think there were a couple times early on in the season where he was a little error prone from the holding mid, but tonight he's looked brilliant.
Cleared that time by Carroll as he was trying to get it away from Juan Mare.
Yeah, and that's a good recovery from Carroll. He senses that Mare won his physical battle against Duke Lacroix, was able to knock it out for a corner.
Another substitution, Mazda Cacher, who's got 3 goals on the season. The 22-year-old from Quebec comes in and takes over for Josh Hurd. Back to Portillo. Felipe gets his head on it. Now Brown.
Well dealt with Brian Brown, and now Openo has a bit of a chance to win this back.
And he will. Here comes Kasipli and Thompson.
Oh, and a clever ball from Seth Kasipli. Just try to add a little texture to it to go past the onrushing Pay and into Openo's path, but just takes the slightest of nicks.
Paul Marie, the throw-in, goes to Kasipli. Over to Thompson. Trying to get around the corner. Lacroix back to Felipe. Over to Marie. Thompson.
Thompson elusive with his dribbling, able to make space, but couldn't lose the second defender there, and his shot goes off. We see Tommy Thompson trying to take people on.
Pretty incredible, Reno tonight against a Monarchs team that has allowed only 13 goals coming into this game. For them to have had the amount of quality chances, it's 2-0 right now, but it's not inconceivable to say that Reno could be up like 5-0 right now with the amount of great chances they've had. They have done a wonderful job breaking down this Monarchs defense.
They've really been creating chances for fun. I mean, Reno could easily be up by a couple more, and there's no chances that Monarchs have had that made you say, wow, that was close. I mean, a couple half chances, but nothing the amount of that Reno have had tonight.
Again, we talk a lot about Reno's offense, but it's been complete. Forwards from the midfielders back to the back four. Everything's been working tonight.
Look at this run from the right back, Paul Marie.
Brian Brown, another goal! His second of the night.
And despite already being 2-0 up, Reno pushed numbers up once again. Paul Marie makes the run, is able to put in a great lofted cross for Brian Brown, and Brian Brown just tucks that away on the volley for his second of the night to make it 3-0. Reno are running riot out here tonight.
Brian Brown, 7 goals on the season now, and this is exactly the kind of production that Reno envisioned from this Jamaican forward when they signed him last year.
Yeah, and I think Reno fans are getting more than what they paid for now with 2 different fireworks tonight, one on the field and one after the game. They've been sensational.
Scoring started in the first half as Reno got a goal from Luis Felipe in the 31st minute, Brown in the 57th, and now here in the 66th.
And I think this team's playing with so much confidence that they're still not going to sit back. They want more. They want this game to be a statement of intent to the rest of the Western Conference.
Here they come again. Marie was trying to find Brown there, but it was broken up by Moberg.
Yeah, and good reading from Moberg. I think Paul Marie could have kept carrying it a little more. No one stepped to him, instead stepped to the passes. So that's when you just try to commit the defender first before playing it. But Paul Marie's been electric moving up on this right side.
The worst defeat that has been suffered by this Monarchs club was on the road back on April 21st. They lost 2-0 to the Tampa Bay Rowdies. They've also lost 1-0 on the road in Portland and 3-2 a couple of matches ago against Swope Park on the road.
Yeah, and even in those games, I don't think they were outclassed quite like this. They look like they have no response to the way Reno are playing.
I mean, what kind of statement of intent is Reno putting on the USL right now?
I mean, not only extending their unbeaten record to 14 games, they're going and completely outclassing the top team in the West. And they'll be looking for 4 or 5. They have 20-plus minutes left. They're going to say to themselves, let's keep going. Monarchs, I think, will be waiting for this final whistle.
Chris Wehan doing a good job coming back on defense, helping out in the corner. Swing it around to Carroll. Carroll and Janjigian, another fantastic game for those two at center back.
Yeah, in the beginning of the season, I don't think many would have predicted that the center back partnership that would be doing so well would be Carroll and Janjigian. I mean, the returning Jordan Morrell and Brenton Griffiths, they looked like the established side going into the season, but it's been all Zach Carroll and Thomas Janjigian.
Kasher, who checked it a few minutes ago with his first shot, deflected away. All the way back to Leaker, who had only allowed 1 goal in 5 matches this year. But it has been a rough go here tonight against this Reno 1868 team that is looking vintage, like their inaugural season where they produced a league record 75 goals.
Yeah, not just the high scoring, but the tempo, the movement, the passing, everything has looked like the Reno 1868 that won the hearts of so many last year. I think in large part from Chris Wehan. Even when it's other people scoring, he's still involved so much in everything. And he's lifted the rest of this attack, I think. Brian Brown and Antoine Open are both playing so well. Tommy Thompson's looking good. Seth Kasipli has looked comfortable there in the midfield.
Coors Light reminds you to celebrate every climb safely. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Great beer, great responsibility. Alongside Colin Tabor, Alex Margulies here in the 72nd minute. A 3-0 lead for Reno 1868. A big crowd here tonight at Greater Nevada Field, and they have been dazzled by one of the best performances of the team this season, if not the best.
I can't think of another performance better than this one. In every aspect of their game, Reno have just been class.
Well, when you look at the 11 and now 12 that we've seen Paul Marie come in, I can't look at a guy in the field right now that has underperformed in this game by Reno. All 12 players that have met the pitch have done an outstanding job.
Yeah, I think JT Marcinkowski, only because he's hardly seen the ball at all. Which, if your goalkeeper's not seeing the ball, that shows what the level you've been playing at is.
Chance for him to get his 4th clean sheet of the season and 3rd consecutively. Whistle comes in midfield, Michael Radlick, and down on the ground is Brian Brown. Things get a little chippy here now between these two teams.
Yeah, and I think Monarchs are showing their frustration a little bit. Moberg handing out some shoves there after Brian Brown goes down. Yeah, just steps into the back of Brian Brown's heel. No attempt to win the ball there.
Brown will dust himself off. And a yellow comes out against the Monarchs. If you want to keep up with the best social media from around the USL, you can join Kelsey Steele every Friday on the USL's social media channels for the latest edition of Off the Post. Like it was a double yellow card. Moberg took one for the Monarchs, and they did also issue a yellow to Antoine Openo.
Yeah, I think Openo for a little bit of retaliation after standing up for Brian Brown. I think yellow for both diffuses the situation. Both teams will just move on from it rather than let the game get too chippy.
Last time these two teams met was back in August of last season. It was a 3-0 win for this Real Monarchs club here in downtown Reno. And this evening, so far, it is 1868 returning the favor. Jack Blake on the ball. Over to Kasher. Trying to go back right corner, and Marcinkowski will watch that one sail away.
Yeah, a bit of a tricky ball to really visualize for Marcinkowski. Has a lot of dip and spin on it. Looks like a cross from Kasher, but it just swings towards that far post. Marcinkowski sees it wide, though.
Thompson steals away, that he's shoved down from behind, and it's Mare. Tommy Thompson. Off the foot of Opano, couldn't control it. And back to Leaker.
Yeah, and a really good run from Tommy Thompson. Sees the space created from Brian Brown checking in and just makes that run in behind. Just can't control it and get into Opano's path, though. And now it's Monarchs again.
In terms of top wins this year for Reno 1868, they had a 2-0 win at home against Oklahoma City, OKC Energy FC. A wild 3-2 win on the road in Sacramento, coming back down 2-0 to top the Republic. That was back on May 12th. They also rallied behind 2-0 in Orange County to earn a draw with Orange County SC. And recently, a couple weeks ago, on the road at Toyota Field in Texas, a 2-0 win in San Antonio. Orange County did get a win tonight over Colorado Springs. They've got 30 points now in the season. Currently puts them in third place. That's the only other action tonight in the USL.
And well done from Zach Carroll to intervene on Kasher's run. And now we can have another counterattack here for Reno.
Here's Opano sprinting ahead. Finds Brown. Weehan taken down in the box with no whistle. Thompson. Back inside to Weehan. Thompson was wide open, scuffs off his foot. Brown. And Brown is tripped up in the box, and that has got to be a penalty.
Yeah, and great patience from Reno. After the opportunity from Brian Brown doesn't materialize, they still keep the ball. They move it around a little bit, look for that gap. Tommy Thompson's scuff shot finds Brian Brown again, who just earns that penalty. And you have to imagine Brian Brown will step up to this one to complete his hat trick.
Well, I saw Brown, he looked at Opano. I think he wanted to give it to Antoine. He looked at him and said, no way, you're going for a hat trick.
Another selfless play from Antoine Opano.
Brown here in the 80th minute. Deflected away. And a fantastic save by Leaker denies Brian Brown of a hat trick.
Oh, and a great save from Leaker.
Brian Brown really slow to get up. Saw him slipping earlier, might have an injury, might just be ruining that missed opportunity to complete his hat trick, but a great save from the Monarchs goalkeeper.
Brown now back on his feet, slowly walking back towards the middle of the field. So Brown will be disappointed with that one, but does not overshadow what has been one of the best nights for Brian Brown here in Reno. Scoring 2 goals here in this second half.
Yeah, not only that, but his movement's been really good. He's been linking up really well with Opino, looking to check in and find a layoff to Opino. And he still has time to get that 3rd goal.
Well, you have to think that Brian Brown right now is one of the hottest goal scorers in this league. You're talking about 5 goals now for Brian Brown over the last 5 matches.
Yeah, which is the same amount he got in the entirety of last year. He's been red hot this past month.
Brian Brown walking towards the middle of the field, and he is going to get a hug from Mo Chow, who checks in, the product of Louisville.
Yeah, Brian Brown's night is done. Fantastic performance from the Jamaican. Now it's Mo Chow's turn. Try to get a goal and improve this already impressive scoreline against a Real Monarchs team that's sitting in 1st in the West.
A lot of pats on the back there from the bench as Brown goes to sit down. Mo Chow appearing in his 13th game. He has had 4 starts this year for Ian Russell. He's been outstanding in his rookie season after he was a 2-time All-American at Louisville. And this time it's Chris Weehan taken down, and that's another yellow for the Real Monarchs, who have been hacking here in the second half.
Yeah, it just comes in late on Chris Weehan.
If the result holds as it stands right now, Reno would vault from a tie for 4th into 3rd place all by themselves. They would leap past Swope Park, Sacramento, and Orange County, and trail only Phoenix and this Real Monarchs team in the Western Conference, which is where they finished their inaugural season last year.
And I'm just asking myself, when will this streak end? Because they have shown no signs of slowing down. If anything, this Reno team's improving as the streak continues.
I mean, you're talking about winning now 3 in a row. Their next couple games, if you're interested, a couple games on the road. They'll play in Seattle this upcoming Saturday. And they'll play a week from tomorrow in Los Angeles against Los Dos, the Galaxy 2. They'll step out of USL play and play a friendly against the Monarchs Morelia out of the Liga MX.
Ekis.
Close enough.
Yeah, that should be an interesting one. We saw last year Club Atlas come to Reno and really put on a clinic here.
Next home match will be the 28th against St. Louis. When you look at those next 2 matches, though, Seattle, they're in 16th place, and the Galaxy are in 14th. So certainly 2 opponents you would like to think that this streak would continue against.
Yeah, and
LA Galaxy, despite conceding a lot of goals, are also a high-scoring team. 16-year-old Efren Alvarez, red hot this season in USL. That should be an interesting one.
Here's Danny Mazovsky coming in here as a substitute, his 13th match of the year. Mentioned earlier, he was the hero on Saturday night, scoring in the 85th by the Monarchs, but wide. It was Taylor Pay on the attempt.
Yeah, Taylor Pay drifts off that far post, wins the header, but just wide.
Coors Light reminds you that every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Every night deserves a safe ending. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. With great beer comes great responsibility.
Ooh, and another great combination play, this time between Mo Chow and Chris Weehan. Mo Chow with just a little drop of the shoulder to make space before finding Weehan, but Weehan's return ball just a little too much for the on-rushing Chow.
Whistle goes against Lacroix there. You can watch highlights from every game of the 2018 USL season and bonus content from around the league by subscribing to the league's official YouTube channel. You can do that at youtube.com/USL. Final 30 seconds of regulation here tonight inside Greater Nevada Fields.
Another big defensive play by Thomas Janjigian just a moment ago. Intercept that ball and send Reno forward.
Here's Mo Chow back to Paul Marie. Chance maybe for one more setup here. And there's the final whistle. Reno 1868 plants the flag in the ground here tonight at home. And they have announced themselves to the United Soccer League as a contender with a 3-0 blowout win of the Real Monarchs. And they have now gone unbeaten in their last 14 games.
And Reno 1868 with the 3-0 win could have been a lot more. Some chances missed. Brian Brown with his penalty saved. Reno 1868 were just simply phenomenal. Easily the best they've played all season. They can walk away tonight with their head held very high.
Reno goes to 8 wins, 3 losses, and 7 draws, 31 points. And they are now in 3rd place all by themselves in the Western Conference, just how they finished a season ago during their inaugural season. This team is back.
Yeah, they really are, and so reminiscent of the way they played last year, from the 4-4-2 diamond to all the interlinking play from the forwards to the midfielders. Chris Weehan dropping down from San Jose Earthquakes tonight was phenomenal.
All right, Kylie Diesner's down on the field, and she's got the star of the match tonight, Brian Brown. Kylie, take it away.
Thanks so much, Alex. Yeah, we've got Brian Brown here now. Brian, you guys just defeated Reno Monarchs 3-0. They were ranked #1. How does that feel?
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling for us as a team. I mean, this is a first place team, and it was a big test for us, and we wanted to win, and we wanted to overcome the first seed team. So, I mean, it's a great feeling for us to get 3 points like that.
And then you had 2 goals tonight. You're now the leading goal scorer for Reno with 7 goals. Why did you have so much success tonight?
I mean, just to work. You know, I'm trying to earn a spot. You know, so I'm going every game, work hard, and hopefully I can get some goals. But, I mean, it's just hard work that I'm putting in right now. That's why I'm getting the result all year.
All right, thanks so much, Brian. Back to you, Alex.
Again to Brown. Goals number 6 and 7 on the season. And as I said before, he has now scored 5 goals in Reno's last 5 matches. See the final there, 3-0. Reno wins big. We'll be right back to wrap things up right after this. The Independence Holiday begins here tonight at Greater Nevada Field. Fireworks being blasted off here in downtown Reno. And a 3-0 win for Reno, 1868. And Colin, there were some fireworks in this match here tonight. Let's dive right into the highlights. And Reno had a lot of chances early on. It would take them until their 31st minute. Seth Kasipley sets things up.
Yeah, Seth Kasipley with the corner finds Zach Carroll, heads it back across. Brent Richards just heads it into the path of Luis Felipe, who tucks it away.
First goal of the season for Felipe. Then in the second half, 57th minute, Antoine Opino with a perfect ball for Brian Brown, and he finishes for then his 6th goal of the season. And then later on, it was Brown again. This time it was Paul Marie with the setup.
Yeah, 2 great finishes from Brian Brown after 2 great team plays. That's the second goal in particular. Brian Brown's first was just wonderful from Reno 1868. Showed what they can do with the one-touch passing.
As I mentioned before, next 2 matches for Reno 1868 on the road in Seattle and then against LA. Here on the 14th, an exhibition game against a side from Mexico. That will take place on the 14th of July. And then our next USL home game on the 28th against St. Louis. We'll have more action for you, though, tomorrow night on My21 TV, the start of a 5-game series. The Reno Aces back in town. They'll take on the Sacramento River Cats, the AAA affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. We'll have that telecast for you starting at 7 o'clock with myself and Conrad Schmidt. That's going to do it for us here tonight from Greater Nevada Field. I want to thank our hardworking crew for putting us on the air, doing a fantastic job here tonight. For my partner, Colin Tabor, and for Kylie Deisner, I'm Alex Margulies saying so long from downtown Reno. 1868 wins big. They top the Real Monarchs 3-0. Good night, everybody.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.